Sweet Baby Inc. is a well-known name in the video game industry and not for positive reasons, and the Sweet Baby Inc. detected Steam page has been blowing up. It is right under 100,000 followers, and of course this has caused so many Sweet Baby Inc. employees to melt down, and one of their lead narrative designers has gone on social media and basically attacked anybody who is supporting this list. I have a few things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. Now, I have made a few videos on Sweet Baby Inc. Detected already. And of course, there have been so many Sweet Baby Inc. staff members who have been throwing tantrums over this. This is a Bounding Into Comics article I wanted to quickly reference. It says, despite building an entire business on forcefully injecting identity politics into video games, employees of the inclusion-focused narrative consultation company Sweet Baby Inc. are absolutely livid that a Steam user has begun taking steps to ensure the public knows exactly which specific titles they've worked on. Now, the reason why it's so confusing to a lot of people that they're melting down over this is because on their webpage, right on the front page, it says what games they've recently worked on that have released, and it also says companies that they've partnered with in the past, even if we don't have specific title names. So you would think that they would continue to be proud of their work if they truly feel they're doing something good for the industry. But instead, they've gone down a completely different path and have been freaking out and trying to get not only this list, but the person who created this list's accounts banned, whether it's on X or on Steam. It says a self-described inclusion-focused narrative and consultation company, Sweet Baby Inc.'s main objective is to review and edit a given video script through the lens of diversity and inclusion. I obviously do not think that companies should be working with Sweet Baby Inc. I think it is ridiculous that Sweet Baby Inc. exists in general. Yes, there are plenty of developers who do want to focus on things like diversity and inclusion in their work, and while they are allowed to do that, we are also allowed to not want to support a company like Sweet Baby Inc. And I've got to be honest, there's not a single game that they've worked on that has been overall or all around praised. Even something like God of War Ragnarok, that was, pretty positively received, did still face criticisms because they did things like race swap characters like Angrboda, but of course their mission is what they claim to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video games industry. But of course this is all shallow diversity and diversification because it doesn't really mean that they care about making good content. They just simply care about injecting their identity politics bullshit into products. And because this list has absolutely blown up, there have been several employees melting down on over it, which is hilarious because this is the best example of the Streisand effect I have seen in a very long time. The comedy just writes itself, and you would think that if they were very confident in the service they provided, their response would be, yeah, we've been involved in all of these games, thanks for the free advertising, but that's not what they're doing. There are several of them trying to get this list banned. I get to see a lot of tweets somehow blaming diversity as the reason for layoffs, genuinely as if the economy was doing really great. Also, they don't recognize Miles as Spider-Man. That's because Miles Morales is Miles Morales. These people think a company of narrative designers that freelance on projects has somehow single-handedly caused the unemployment collapse in games instead of, the insane notion of infinite growth. I don't think that anybody was really blaming Sweet Baby Inc. solely on layoffs going on in the industry, but if you look at a lot of the companies that they have teamed up with and they have worked with over the past few years, a lot of them have, yes, been doing significant layoffs, so one would assume there's layoffs because projects have not done well, and projects have not done well in part because of Sweet Baby Inc. But of course, they're just going to completely ignore that to push their own narrative. He also said, sorry, no one thing has changed. The number of people who understand that spreading misinformation just lets them be racist in public with no consequence has increased dramatically. Of course, it's always the racism or sexism or bigot card. If you are criticizing me or a project I am part of or a project that I support, that must mean that there's something wrong with you, that you are a racist or a sexist or some kind of disgusting label, because they just cannot accept the fact that we're allowed to criticize and ultimately not support their products. For example, Steam doesn't have guidelines for curators that would prevent someone from starting a curation group that focuses on, say, Sweet Baby Inc. and warns people to not buy games they're associated with, which could just list any games at all. The difference with this list, though, is that the curator is actually using not only Sweet Baby Inc.'s webpage as their source, but they are also doing other research or linking to like web archives of company pages that show either credits and do credit Sweet Baby Inc. or even YouTube videos where the credits of the game are rolling and it says, clear as day, Sweet Baby Inc. And Felix, of course, is not the only person who's melting down. Chris Kindred, who of course now has their X account locked and privated because they do not want anybody to be able to interact with them because they were getting absolutely destroyed. But they said the Steam curator harassment group Sweet Baby Inc. Detected is led by this person. Then they tag them. Here's them trying to be slick so they don't get reported. Nobody is trying to not get reported, but there's no reason to report Cabrutus Rambo over a simple list. We now, of course, though, have Grant K. Roberts, the current, or at least one of the current lead narratives at Sweet Baby Inc., making very generic posts, okay, not exactly referencing the controversy that Sweet Baby Inc. is in the middle of right now, but at the same time clearly referencing that. The cool thing about liking video games is that you can go play video games instead of joining a weird cult and being wrong about everything. But that is absolutely hilarious because the irony is that he is accusing people of creating exactly what he's become involved in. It is total projection. He is the one that is part of a weird cult. He is the one who is wrong about literally everything. He does not understand the gaming industry or what people want, or he doesn't even want to also acknowledge the reason why so many people are against Sweet Baby Inc. and he is getting destroyed. I'm honestly shocked that he has not protected his tweets either, but people are saying things like, good observation, you should try that. Cool, when are you gonna start? Enjoy your video games. I'm sure it will comfort you after the game you worked on bombs. People doing, hilarious mirror memes, because it's so true. I mean, it's total freaking projection, and he is a narrative lead at Sweet Baby Inc., so you would think that he would be confident in his work and that he would be happy that people are talking about it on social media, because of course it's just bringing more attention to things that you should in reality feel confident in, but they're not. They are all trying their hardest to get people to basically just shut up and move on to the next topic and continue to consume product. The group for Sweet Baby Inc. Detected is nearly at 40,000 members, and the list itself is nearly at 100,000 followers. It is great to see this level of success because so many people who previously did not know how many games Sweet Baby Inc. has infected over the years now know, even if it's just a few more examples. I will be keeping my eye on this list just to make sure that Valve doesn't try anything sneaky, because Valve is on the list of companies that has worked with Sweet Baby Inc. in the past, even though we have no clue in what capacity. But I will be keeping my eye on this list. Let's just continue to hope that at this point it's gotten too big, that Valve does not try any shenanigans or try to ban this user or get this list taken down, simply because all of these Sweet Baby Inc. employees are freaking out over it. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.